Would you address the issue of what we've got going on landfill right now with the cell development? Explain
Yeah.
some of that.
Well, that's-
where we've got money
that's
for
a
that
good point.
now, and
Yeah.
why perhaps some of this money could be
Yeah.
utilized.
If I could, before you go to that, I think in your deliberations, make sure, and Dean brought it up, because we talked about it, is that there are a lot of businesses that bring us recyclables, and I don't have the number with me, but I don't know how much Dean is, or Jim is weighing as he's bringing in those. He's not bringing them in the drop boxes, because you'll have VT Industries bring pallet loads over and bring it in, so that's a number that's not defined
Sure.
yet.
That's
So
right.
when you define that number, those have to go out there too, okay? So for hauling purposes, okay? Yeah, we already identified we have many
Yeah.
tons, but for hauling purposes, we have to consider, well.
You know, like the grocery stores in other towns, like, I know the grocery store in Lakeview, they bundle their cardboard and they sell it,
Yeah,
and it doesn't go through John's account.
which is good too.
So there's a lot, every town
Lots of
has
stuff.
their own arrangement.
Boynton has that same thing.
But,
I'm sorry.
the landfill, no, that's fine. The landfill budget, you know, just to give you some history maybe, in 2007, we spent about $290,000. Of that $290,000, $100,000 went to the Howard Center. And in 2008, our total operating budget was $321,000. And the next year, 2009, our operating budget was $287,000. Now, a side note, in 2 of those years, we had a major expansion or a horizontal expansion going on in the landfill to make, we're developing a new cell. And so most of those expenses came in '08, but between 2 years, we spent approximately $360,000 developing cell A and B. And this summer, we've got to start developing the next cell, and that's going to be called Cell C. And that will probably cost $360,000.
For one.
Yeah.
cell.
And that cell will last, depending on how much waste we take in, that Cell C will probably last 4 or 5 years. Now, what makes this, the last couple of years, because of the hailstorms, it's hard to believe, or maybe it isn't, that so much roofing's been done in Oldeyville, then in Wall Lake, then in Lakeview, that our tonnage went up. I was conferring with Larry earlier. We run around 44,500 ton landfill to 5,000. That's kind of what we've used as a ballpark budget figure. But because of those 2 hailstorms, and John's referring to C and D and construction waste, that's really gone up. And so we're bringing in more tons, which is good, because we take those tons times $36, so our revenue's up. You know, the last 2 years, the year ended June 30th, and the year will end June 30th, 2011. Our tonnage is up and our revenue's up, but it fills the landfill up quicker. Another thing that's happened is, you know, years ago when they tore houses down in our 9 towns, you know, it all didn't up at, a lot of that did not end up in the landfill. It went other places. Now, for a variety of reasons, probably attributed to the DNR, you know, we're getting more of the older houses that are torn down in the county. They're hauled to the landfill. Good. It's a good, it shows up as revenue, but it, you know, Larry can tell you it doesn't smash down like tin cans, plastic or paper, but whatever. So we're developing a new cell. It's going to cost probably around $360,000 between the engineering and construction costs. And as the Department of Natural Resources has put more and more requirements on what we do at the landfill as far as being in compliance with the Federal Clean Water Act and now air emissions. And in ballpark figure, I'd say first, I've been on the board 8 years, or chair of the board. We're probably spending $50,000 to $60,000 more this year to be in compliance than we did 7 or 8 years ago. Which is all good, you know, we're all for clean water and clean air and so forth. But those are things that we have, like John mentioned, it's a different world. So we've got that, and we've got approximately $450,000 in cash that we can put towards that construction cost, those bills that will come in next summer.